Hey everyone. So, I'm starting my first YouTube channel. My name is Adam. I've been a tattoo artist for a very long time, over 24 years now, and I've recently made some big changes in my life, and I've always been fascinated with hair and beauty and just making people look and feel wonderful. So I thought it'd be fun to start documenting my journey through beauty school. I have no beauty experience, no hair experience besides just the people industry and the personal service industry. So it's definitely going to be interesting. There's going to be a lot of fails. There's been a fair amount of fails already. I've been in school now for about 5 months, and I still have about another 6 months to go. So anybody that's been there before, I go to Paul Mitchell here in Las Vegas, knows what it's like, knows it's definitely a journey to be sure. So I wanted to get a little bit of the basics down before I jumped in full stroke, so to say. So I'm working on my color honors and my cut honors and texture honors just to get those shiny certificates and have that extra push when we go into the salon world. And I really hope that I get to look back on all this and have something to say, this is what I was doing and this was my journey, and I hope all of you can join me in that journey, and a few years down the road you can kind of check and see what we're doing and how we're doing. So we're just going to do some blow drying today, and yeah, we'll go from there. So we're going to do a pre-dry flat wrap, a pre-dry round wrap, and a pre-dry directional. And this is also, I think, a cool experience because for those of you who are still learning, you're going to get a chance to kind of see it through a student's eyes versus just an instructor's eyes. I have actually given apprenticeships to people. I've taught people to tattoo, to pierce. I love education. I love teaching. So I think I have definitely a way to explain things and whatnot that your just average student might not. So yeah, hopefully we can make some progress together. So we're using our Paul Mitchell Ion Express Dry today, and we're gonna start in our nape section. They're very big on keeping everything very uniform, of course. So I'd like to just point out that I'm very low tech right now. I'm recording this on a phone, so please be gentle with the comments. So here we go. And we're pushing with diagonal forward sections, keeping tension on, and switching directions, wrapping around the head like a star. Alright, now this is just a pre-dry, and it's also just a demonstration. So we're really just going to get our roots. Gonna swing around to our fringe. This section is the same on all three of these pre-dries. That's another thing, these skill cards they don't really tell you. You always start off with the nape and then go to the fringe. Same motion, just going across, pulling that hair one direction, then across from the other. Using the blow dryer to just flatten that cuticle down. Just going across the top. So one thing I thought was kind of interesting that a lot of people tried to explain in a lot of different ways that kind of got lost in translation. Along with just doing the nape and the fringe with all these same drying techniques, basically the same. You can alter it a little bit for different purposeful effects, but when it comes to where you put your blow dryer, I see a lot of people blasting straight into the root, or going down, or tussling up the hair. And granted, you're gonna kind of develop your own method as you go along. But what I found most useful, is I use a vent brush first off to just give a little more airflow and give me a little more grab on the hair, as well as turning it while I actually push the hair. And also just keeping my blow dryer moving across the top of the hair. This way I don't actually scald the clients, and it keeps that cuticle nice and smooth and nice and shined. So for our flat wrap technique, and again, this is just pre-dry, we're going to always start on our dominant side and work to our non-dominant side. So that means start, for those right-handers, start on your right. For those left-handers, start on your left. And it's always going to be the push and the pull method. So on your right side, if you're right-handed, pushing the hair away from you and just wrapping it around the head like a scarf. And then on the other side, you're going to stand in front of your section. You're always going to be moving around the client, so make sure that your chair is in a comfortable spot where you can move around. Make sure your cord is out of the way so you're not tripping over it, you're not dragging it in front of your client's face. Now, you can also alter these. You know, they're going to really, and this is something that kind of bugs me about the school a little bit. I get that they have a technique that they're using, and one thing that they don't really like to teach you is you are going to develop your own technique, and you're going to use certain things to give you certain effects. But overall, you can sculpt, you can build those effects, you can build those looks with different tools and different techniques. So find what's comfortable for you, as long as the client is happy and you are able to achieve these things. And another thing, I mean, they kind of touch on this a little bit, but sometimes it's hearing it from somebody who's in this position. It does help a little bit. So sometimes you just have to do it. This is something that a lot of tattoo artists go through. They're so nervous in the beginning because, you know, they're scared to mess up. They don't want to do something permanent. Hair is much more forgiving. If, you know, we give a bad cut or something, it grows out. So with a tattoo or even a piercing, sometimes it can be a little more traumatic if, you know, it's badly done. And trust me, I've had more than my share of doing and getting unfortunate tattoos. So you know, don't be so nerve-wracked. You know, just have a little bit of confidence. If you make a mistake, you know, it'll grow out. You know, aside from bumping into the client and whatnot, you'll be okay. Just, you know, keep smiling, keep having fun, keep enjoying what you're doing, and just keep learning. That's the biggest thing. You gotta not compete with others, compete with yourself, keep challenging yourself to keep learning and keep moving. I've been getting a ton of inspiration from Matt over at Free Salon Education. Been hugely influential. I haven't really gotten a chance to reach out, as I said. I'm still very new to all of this, so it's a little bit overwhelming at times, but same thing with Sam Villa, the people over at the Paul Mitchell Salon, Albie, Lonnie. I unfortunately don't know everybody's names. I know they all have Instagram, and they're probably linked through the school. So please, I advise all of you to check them out. They're a great group of people, amazing coaches, amazing people in general. And there's many more that I'm gonna add as I go along. But yeah, so we're gonna get back to our blow dry. So we're gonna keep going with the rest of the pre-dry for the flat wrap. So as I was saying, now an easier way to do this instead of walking behind and back and forth is you can just pull from both directions. So we're gonna just keep pulling out on our dominant side, wrapping all the way around, going one pass back, and just pulling that hair. Because what we're wanting to do is make the hair follow the head shape. We want it to literally, like in the name, wrap around the head. So we're going to pull, make sure you keep your dryer moving. I've scalded a few clients now, just kind of letting it sit and not, you know, kind of zoning out. So obviously you're not going to get the whole section in one brush full, so use the bottom and then pull through the top That way you don't have that weird little section up here that doesn't get any heat or any tension. You want to turn your brush as you are pulling. This is going to give you that tension, give you that extra shine. Remember to keep going one pass back or a little further, otherwise you are going to get a split in the back. So now we're going to move on to our directional. Now this is one I see everybody using on the clinic floors, and again it's kind of just a little bit of a fear of not knowing what to do. So the whole idea, as far as I understand it with the directional, is you're wanting to give the hair movement and bounce and flow. So by manipulating the hair one direction, then coming back and going the other, just like we did with the frame, you're going to give it more movement, more ability to, you know, just fall in its natural place and not just be stuck in one position. You know, like doing a side sweep bang, you want it to stay, but you don't want it to be a board. You want it to be able to move. So something like, you know, say a bob, one length or something like that, where you want that movement and bounce. A directional is good for that, but it's not your only tool in your toolbox. So I definitely urge everybody to, you know, kind of play with each one, see what they do. That's definitely the biggest advice I could give anybody, is don't be afraid to just try things. I have no idea what I'm doing in cutting. I seem to have the disease of, it makes total sense in my head, but my hands just haven't quite learned how to do anything. And I keep telling myself, and this is something the instructors keep telling me as well, is I'm gonna have to do a few hundred of these haircuts to get it to sink in. And I know this is true because it was very much the same when I started tattooing or driving or drinking or not at the same time, of course. Stay safe out there. It's currently raining like crazy here, so hopefully all of you are safe at home. But yeah, just don't be afraid to try things. Again, this is hair, and you want it to be good, and you don't want to, you know, always keep your client's safety in mind, but it's totally okay. You know, sometimes you do have to sculpt your way through a haircut, as some of the people at school say, you know, when in doubt, you got to point cut it out, which isn't the best thing to keep telling yourself. But you know, just stay in that mindset that you're gonna be okay. The client's gonna be okay. Just, you know, try and keep those techniques in mind, and you know, it is okay to kind of experiment and play around. So now we're gonna move on to the round wrap pre-dry. So we've got her pulled down. We've already done the nape section. We've already done the fringe. So now we're going to find our center part. Now keep in mind your round wrap is meant to give a huge amount of volume. This is just like the picture and just like the word sounds. It's picture a big round cut. This is how you're going to get all that extra volume. And for you layered people, layered fans, all your people that want or have a little bit of thinness on top, this is how you're going to give that extra volume and just extra movement at the top. So you're going to start at the top, just bringing that hair across, moving it all the way to the other side, moving around. Now this one, you definitely want to make sure you give yourself enough room to move around the head shape, because you are going to be picking up from both sides. This is one that it works best when you are standing in front. You always want to be kind of in front of your section. So still just bringing across the top, just manipulating that hair, making the follicle do what you want. If you want it to stand up, if you want it to give you volume, you have to push it in that direction. So we're going to gather another layer full. Take those sections up and across. Now, as you learn to section, and you want to keep sectioning properly as much as possible, but in the beginning, you also want to practice actually doing what you're doing. You know, in your downtime when you're sitting around watching TV or not doing anything, just get your doll head and just practice sectioning. Practice, you know, taking your comb or taking your brush or your round brush, whatever you're working with, and, you know, just practice combing out your cut sections, combing out your round brush sections, whatever be it. You know, sit there for hours, practice, you know, just holding your shears, holding your comb, you know, moving them and getting that muscle memory down. It's taken me a few months to understand that that is just enormously helpful. They're, you know, giving you all that basic information at school, which is, you know, very helpful, but it's not all the education, you know. I think you definitely need to try and absorb a little bit of everything. You're not going to get it all, and it's not all going to make sense, and a lot of it's going to seem just impossible right now, but, you know, I think we can all get there. So once we get our round wrap over and across, then we're going to start taking diagonal forward sections from underneath where the round wrap was. So starting right at the front, keeping that tension, you're going to go just like a 45, just like if we were doing a graduated cut. You go out, out. And this is going to give you that extra volume right underneath the base of the round. So it gives you that extra lift. And you're going to give yourself any extra lift at the base that you want. But this is how you push that hair underneath the edge of the round up and over. And again, this is going to give you all that extra volume. Same thing, just diagonal forward sections, wrapping with the head shape all the way, coming to the other side. And diagonal forward sections again. Don't be afraid to, you know, move some of this out of your way. Remember to keep your dryer moving. Just blowing across the top of the cuticle of the hair, letting it smooth down. The cuticle is going to manipulate with, you know, the tension and the heat. So if you're blowing into the root, all you're going to create is frizz, and you're going to get a ton of flyaways, and you're going to get this, you know, kind of crunched up nasty hair. So you want that high polish and that high shine and that awesome movement. So you want to make sure that you are blowing across. Again, when I see people round brushing, they're taking their round brush and they're kind of just driving it, driving the dryer either into the root or, you know, you can push into the brush, but I don't think that's as beneficial as letting the dryer and the air do the work. It may be a little hard to see from this angle, but you're wanting to just let that dryer move across that top of the cuticle. Let the brush pull that cuticle flat instead of trying to use the dryer to push down on the brush. All that's going to do is smash into the hair and ruin your tools, and you want all your tools to last as long as possible. So again, we're just going to go out and down, across, letting that air move across. So I don't want this to be too long for the first one, so we're going to stop there for right now, but I just wanted to say thank you, and I'll see you on the next video, and I hope you enjoy. See you next time.